This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends because I'm poor.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. And I promise you, the dawn is coming.
Harvey Dent, a name you can trust. In all seriousness, the reason I wanted to show you guys that clip is I think it's motivational. I think if we just give it time, we stay inside, we stay away from society, and we do what the Joker does. Yeah, don't blow up a hospital, do this right here. That's so good. But now let's talk about some physical media, because movie theaters are shut down. I never thought I would say that, but yeah, movie theaters, restaurants, just about everything that you love to go to and hang out at is shut down right now. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because I have these movies, these 4K titles, this physical media right here, which I've been saying for years is a necessity in the apocalyptic wastelands, and you're going to need it one day. And people were like, no, you're crazy, John. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have streaming services. But what happens when your internet goes out? Or they lower the bandwidth and you're starting to watch 180p pixelated movies at home? No, thank you. I have these to rely on, and well, I've never been more glad or happy with myself. Essentially, buying all these was the best decision I ever made. A few days ago, I made a flick trip video on my second channel, John Flickinger. Link down below. I went to Walmart and I noticed all the cheap Blu-ray and DVD titles were sold out on the shelves because people want physical media to watch at home, because not everyone has Netflix, or maybe your internet sucks like mine does because it goes out every 5 minutes. But yeah, it's a crazy time, and I'm really happy that over the years I've accumulated this entire collection of movies, because if we can't go to the movie theater, well, I'll turn my house into the movie theater and go back and rewatch the movies I love. It smells like freedom and entertainment. But before we dive into these movies, I want to give a quick mention to the sponsor of this video, because it helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys right after. Are you not entertained? Do you want something epic and awesome? Are you tired of the childish, cartoony fantasy games and RPG games? I know I am. If you want something dark and gritty, well, definitely check out Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, I'm gonna take this off now. Ugh. Alright, here's the main screen. Up on the left is the portal, then you see the tavern over there on the right, and then down here is the battle arena, and here's where you can have fights and PvP battles against other players. Now what I like about the game is it's super easy to play. As soon as you download it, you just start battling, and there's dragons, and keep in mind, we're all stuck at home right now, so why not download a free game? And once again, there's dragons. I like dragons. And you can play Raid on both mobile and on your desktop. And now in the game, the highly anticipated Battle Pass is on. Season 1 is live, and you can win awesome rewards, including free energy refills, gems, upgraded artifacts, sets, and a new epic legendary champions by fulfilling the daily and weekly challenges. And you can find me in the game under the Flick Pick. If you're quick enough, you can also join my clan. So what are you waiting for? Do it! Do it now! And if you are a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver plus one free champion, Grumbler. New players will find all of their rewards in their inbox in the game. It's right here. Yep. Boop, right there. And these awesome rewards will only be available through these links for new players for the next 30 days. And once again, there's an epic selection of champions you can pick from to play in the game. I like the ones with more muscle definition. I don't know why, I like it. Put a little baby oil on those muscles, shine them up, and go into battle. If you guys like epic RPGs, or if you like dragons like I do, check it out, links down below. I'm going to put this on now. So good luck, and I'll see you there. The first movie up is Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. This will have a very prominent place on my top 10 worst of the year list video, which I know it's 3 months late, but just bear with me. Yeah, just when I thought this pandemic couldn't get any worse, I got this in the mail the other week. Don't watch this. Don't ever watch this movie. I paid money to see this in the theater. Next up, Knives Out. I never got a chance to see this in the theater, and it's directed by Rian Johnson, the guy who some would say ruined Star Wars. Others like The Last Jedi. I'm at the point in my life where I just don't care anymore. But yeah, Knives Out was a pleasant surprise by Rian Johnson, and I think he should do more movies like this. It's a nice, small, condensed murder mystery movie with a fun vibe. And I really enjoyed this movie. It stars Captain America, Chris Evans, Daniel Craig, who's doing the most bizarre Southern Kentucky Fried Chicken accent I've ever heard. Oh, I do say, Mrs. You know, it sounds like that, and I don't know if he was intentionally trying to sound awful with his accent, because you could hear his British accent slipping out every 5 seconds. But this was a fun film. I will say I probably guessed the ending by the second act, but I still really enjoyed it. But I will say one of the most underrated performances in this film is by Don Johnson, and he's hilarious. He doesn't try to be funny. He has this certain comedy style that just makes me laugh because it almost comes across unintentional. I loved him in this movie, and I also really enjoyed his character in the movie Django Unchained. Yeah, so I recommend checking this out. Pleasant surprise, and I love the way that it looks on 4K. It has a very filmic look to it, and I don't know. I enjoyed watching this on a rainy night. It kind of was cozy and weird, and it was raining outside, and I really enjoyed the movie. Let it go into the trash. Yeah, next up is Frozen 2. I'm going to say this. As a dude, I guess I never really loved Frozen, the original film. I actually think it's probably commercially the most overrated film of all time. If I was maybe a little girl that liked princess movies, I could, I guess, find enjoyment in this film. But even so, when I watched Frozen 2 in the theater, I thought to myself, if I was a little girl, sometimes I go to that weird place in my head, I would be sort of bored by this movie. It's sort of gloomy and it's all foggy, and the storyline isn't that interesting. The journey that they go on isn't fun or exciting. The first one, I could see how you could enjoy that film, but this one was just sort of depressing to watch. And I think if you have a daughter or little kids, show them Tangled. Show them that Disney movie. This one, I thought, was just hard to get through. Next up is Dark Waters, a movie that will make you hate big corporations more than you probably already do. And that's how I feel. This film also sort of solidified the fact that I never drink tap water. For years and years, I've never drank water out of the faucet unless I have to. But I don't like to, because I even, like, sometimes if you smell the faucet water, it has like a chemical smell to it. Mine smells like pool water sometimes. Like, it almost burns my nostrils when I sniff it. I don't know. Go sniff your tap water. Tell me what you think. But this film is really interesting. It's based on a true story. And it's basically how one large corporation puts chemicals in the ground. It affects the water in a small town, and it starts killing people. It causes a whole bunch of issues, and there was a big lawsuit. And I've always enjoyed films like this that have like a lawsuit, courtroom vibe to it, and also are based on a true story. So would I ever rewatch this movie? Probably not, but I'm glad I watched it at least once. So I'd recommend maybe watching this on like a streaming service one day. Is the Blu-ray necessary? Not really. Next up is Swamp Thing. It's still in the plastic. This is the complete series, which is like one season, and then they canceled it. I never had a chance to check this out. I've heard it was good, which is odd and surprising that a Swamp Thing TV show is good. So yeah, I'm going to check this out at some point, because it's not like we're supposed to leave the house and movie theaters are closed once again. So yeah, stay at home and watch some movies. That's what I'll be doing, or TV shows. And I'll watch this right after I get done watching Tiger King, the new season of Ozark, Better Call Saul Season 5, and then I'll probably watch this. Next up is Gemini Man on 4K, and I also have the Steelbook edition that was sent to me, which is a okay looking Steelbook, I guess. The disc isn't in there because I was watching it a few weeks ago. So what can I say about Gemini Man, other than the fact it's a really generic action film? It looks a little too digital at times, and it looks like a video game cutscene. And it was shot in a different frame rate. And what I did is I actually turned on for the first time ever. And I never recommend watching a movie like this, but if you have True Motion on your TV that makes everything look like a soap opera, it increases the frame rate. Do it for this movie. It makes it that much funnier. Like the scene where he's riding a dirt bike and all rules of gravity and physics go out the window. Like, it's funny. And that's the point where I turned off the movie and I didn't finish watching it, because I was like, I have better things to do with my life. So yeah, Gemini Man. Next up is Dr. Sleep, starring Ewan McGregor. And I was pleasantly surprised by this film. I didn't love it as much as some other people did. I enjoyed a lot of different vibes about this movie, and they definitely go for it. I think they stay very faithful to the original adaptation that this is based on, as opposed to the film The Shining, which I think is a superior movie in every way, directed by Stanley Kubrick, compared to this movie. But this is a good movie. It's an enjoyable watch. I guess some of the fantastical elements of the gypsy gang who likes to kidnap and suck the souls out of children, I didn't necessarily enjoy all that aspect of the movie. I thought there was room to improve upon, but yeah, Ewan McGregor in this film was phenomenal. I like the third act of this movie where they go back and kind of have an homage to some things that you might know from The Shining. So yeah, really enjoyed this. I have not watched it since the theater, so I'm looking forward to checking it out on 4K. Jumanji, The Next Level. I say Jumanji. Some people say Jumanji. Either way, people will say I say it wrong either way. I just say if it's J-U, you say June, J-U-N-E. If it's Jumanji, you would say Jumanji, not Jumanji. Either way, don't correct me if I'm wrong, please. I had a movie review for this movie, and what happened was, like 2 months ago, it was late at night, and I was deleting some unlisted videos on my channel, and I accidentally deleted my movie review for this, and I was really pissed and angry for like 5 minutes, but then I was like, it's Jumanji to the next level. It's okay, life will go on. But yeah, I actually enjoyed the sequel more than I enjoyed the first incarnation with The Rock. Now the Robin Williams version will always be my favorite. That feels like a true movie that has like emotion and depth to it. These new ones they're fun, they're mindless entertainment, and it's cool that they have like the video game vibe opposed to the board game vibe that the original had. But yeah, I actually enjoyed the sequel more than I enjoyed the other one that came out a few years ago. And Jack Black in this film is hilarious. Also, I really enjoyed Danny DeVito in this movie. I wish more movies had Danny DeVito in them. By the way, speaking of Danny DeVito, have you ever seen the 1980s classic called Twins? Starring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they're actually brothers because there was I was going to say a sperm milkshake made to make the perfect human being, but watch. Does everything I just say sound really weird? That is honestly the premise to the movie Twins. Watch it now. Ye like my cooking. I loved The Lighthouse. This will also have a very prominent place in my top 10 best of the year video. But man, you want to talk about an Oscars snub this year? Willem Dafoe's character. He was the definition of a supporting actor. This was a great film that I went into maybe not expecting to enjoy as much as I did, and it's in like a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's in black and white, and it's shot with actual cameras and lenses, not actual cameras, but lenses from the time period of this film. And that was amazing to watch, and it's so immersive the way that this movie is made. It's sort of like an art house film, but really enjoyable. And my only complaint might be the very ending to the movie. I might, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about that. But everything else I completely loved about this movie. And yeah, a Robert Pattinson movie, our new Batman. Next up, also from A24, is Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler. He called the shit poop. Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. Quarantine, more like boratine. I'll stop with the shitty Adam Sandler impressions. I enjoyed this film. This is by the Safdie brothers, who also directed another film called Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson as well. And I would honestly say, I think I might prefer Good Time. I think if I was going to recommend this or Good Time, I would say go watch Good Time. I think it's just an easier, more enjoyable experience to get through. Now, both movies are intentionally made to make you, the viewing audience, feel uneasy and nerve-wracking, and it's sort of shot in this ultra-realistic way where people are talking over each other, and it feels it's sort of very realistic in many ways. But I prefer the Robert Pattinson Good Time movie because I thought his character was just more enjoyable to watch. Adam Sandler's character in this film is the most frustrating character ever put on film. Every time he does any decision, it's like, what is wrong with you? You're incompetent, but you can't get enough of it. He's just a screw-up who keeps screwing up for the sake of screwing up. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of things about this film. It also stars Kevin Garnett. Is Kevin Garnett? Is that the name? I don't want to edit this. Kevin Garnett, I think. Yeah, anyway, he does a good job in this film, even though he's a basketball player playing a basketball player. But yeah, I recommend watching this maybe just once if you want to feel really stressed out. But I would prefer Good Time over this. Tommy want more. The next one up is Tommy Boy. This is a really cool edition. This is a steelbook edition of the movie. It's really cool. I like the bold yellow steelbook. It's still in the plastic because I want to save it and preserve it for years to come. Actually, I'll just open it up when I'm in the mood to watch it. I don't know if I actually own Tommy Boy on Blu-ray, but this was sent to me. It has some awesome special features on it. This is one of the quintessential 90s comedy movies of all time, or at least for me. It has everything I like about a comedy movie. It has like that road trip buddy vibe where they don't get along. It's sort of like the 90s version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but remade for this. This is what I grew up watching on HBO like every other day was Tommy Boy. Still holds up in my opinion. I still love the movie, and it's an awesome looking steelbook. Next up, a movie I absolutely love that will have a very, very prominent place in my top 10 best of the year, which is 3 months late, I know. But this is from Bong Joon-ho, who directed films like Snowpiercer, which I went back and rewatched the other day on Netflix, and I forgot how much I really enjoyed that movie. I think I enjoyed it more the second time watching it. But as far as Parasite goes, it blows me away that this is the Academy Award winning movie of the year, and all we have is a simple Blu-ray release. Where's the 4K version of this at? I hope it comes soon. But yeah, let me give you a quick backstory. I went to a theater to watch this film because it was in limited release like 2 hours away, and I had a press screening to watch another film, which was called Midway, the Roland Emmerich film, and I watched these as a double feature in the same day. Talk about the most opposite double feature of all time, but man, I was blown away by this film. It's in subtitles. And the best thing I can say about this film is you don't even notice the subtitles 10 minutes into the movie because it's so immersive and the acting is so great. You forget that they're there. You forget that you're reading them at times. And at other times, it's almost not necessary to read them because the acting is so great and comes across on the screen. So yeah, this is a really intense film. I loved the twist in this movie and can't recommend it enough. All right, next up is A Quiet Place. And the most quiet place now is the movie theater. And also A Quiet Place 2, which was just canceled this month. And it has no new release date. I was looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I do want to go back and revisit this film. This is the steelbook, and it has kind of this... The cover, this plastic cover has like another piece of... Ooh, that was satisfying. Ooh, that felt good. Look how shiny that is now. That looks sexy, doesn't it? Yeah, so it has this like little clear plastic case on it. Then you get the steelbook of A Quiet Place, which looks really cool to me. I like the light bulbs on there. And I really enjoyed this movie. It might have been a contender for my #1 movie of 2018 when it came out. And Jim from The Office directed this. And I was really blown away by this film. I do have a few issues with the logic of this film at times. But here's what I want to say. If you lived in a society where there were creatures that would eat you, if you made any sound, at the sound of a pin drop, these creatures would come and eat you and rip your head off. Would you live out in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield in a farmhouse? Would that be your place of choice? Or would you probably live underground in a bunker where you can make sounds and noise and live your life? I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I love the steelbook of it. And yeah, I'm really disappointed that we don't get to watch the sequel because, well, all movies were canceled thus far. Oh, 2020, you suck. Next up is Richard Jewell, directed by Clint Eastwood. I have not watched this yet. I was really fascinated by this. I knew the true story. I already know the outcome of it, so I guess I won't be as surprised, or maybe the movie won't be as thrilling, but I'm still looking forward to watching it. Huge fan of Clint Eastwood movies. Maybe not The Mule so much, sort of disappointing. But yeah, I can't wait to check out this movie, Richard Jewell, and yeah, I'll save it for a rainy night. Skynet will go online July 7th, 1997. Yeah, this film is Terminator Dark Fate. This movie sucks. It's terrible. It retcons everything great that the franchise had going for itself in the first 2 minutes of the movie. It's like, hey, amazing movie that we're basing this movie on. Let's just destroy everything that's great within the first 2 minutes. Why? I don't know. That's the new standard in Hollywood. It's so frustrating when it comes to Terminator movies. There's so much you can do. So much you can do. You can go into the future. You can have these battles between humans and machines. And what happens? They just keep redoing the same thing over and over again, but it gets worse with each incarnation. I would say Rise of the Machines is a better movie than this. Terminator Salvation is a much better movie than this. Why? Because both those movies at least try different things. This movie tries to become Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but like a poor man's incompetent version of that. Ugh. All right. Now, last but certainly not least, I saved this as a surprise for the epic finale of this video, is this awesome edition of 1917 that was sent to me by the studio to open up and show you and promote the movie. But yeah, this is a cool, like, steel. It's not steel, it's tin. But either way, let's open this bad boy up. Ooh, look at that. Now you can tell it's like a World War I theme here. Let's open up this little box here. Check this out. That's pretty cool. It says 1917 right there. Classy box. It has like a clock in there and a compass, which is really neat. And let's keep going here. You have some production photo cards right here. You flip through those. It shows like the director making of the movie. And then you have a journal that you can write in. And every time I get something like this, I actually do use this. I write notes in these. Sometimes I keep them in the bathroom, and I write little notes sometimes. But yeah, and then last but certainly not least, you have the Blu-ray version of 1917. I wish it was the 4K version, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm not going to complain. I liked this movie. I don't think I loved it as much as some people did. Some people thought this should have been the #1 movie of the year. I would definitely lean towards Parasite for that. But I enjoyed this film. I think the best thing about this film is the technical aspect, the making of the film, because it is essentially a one-shot tracking shot the entire movie with some hidden cuts in between. And it was masterfully done. I love the score to the film. I love the climax action sequence where you have the main actor in the movie. And it does have a heartfelt little punch at the very end of the movie. But yeah, I didn't care as much about one of the characters early on in the movie. But other than that, it's definitely a must watch at least once. And 1917 is based on World War I, which was the Trench Wars, which just in itself is a really fascinating historical event. And if you want kind of like a inside look at that and an experience of what that was like, this movie really captures that. But yeah, I think once again, from a technical aspect, that's the best thing about this film, and it's directed by Sam Mendes. So yeah, definitely watch this at some point. I do want to eventually watch it on 4K because the movie deserves that high resolution viewing experience. So yeah, 1917. So that's going to wrap it up for all the new movies that I picked up or that were sent to me over the last few months. And in all seriousness, to keep it real with you guys, please stay safe, stay home. I hope you have enough toilet paper and frozen pizzas. That way you don't have to leave your house anytime soon. And I hope you guys are staying safe. And I appreciate you guys watching the video. And also, if you haven't seen a new video from me on this channel in the last couple of weeks, well, it's because I haven't put one out. But what I have been doing is weekly live streams every Tuesday night over on my second channel. The last live stream was almost 3 hours long. You guys can come in there, talk about movies, ask questions. It's a really good time, so bring the popcorn, bring the hand sanitizer, and I'll see you there every Tuesday night over on my second channel. But as always, guys, leave your thoughts, your opinions down below. Which movies are you going to watch during this apocalyptic self-isolation shutdown? Let me know those down below. Share your thoughts, your opinions, and stay safe, guys, and I'll see you next time.